I agree with you, Matthew. I feel a lot of compassion for some of these people. Yeah.
And it's worth, I think, mentioning just the dramatic upheavals in logic that are necessary to keep going in 3HO and as a Kundalini Yoga teacher. One of the striking things in the Business of Fashion piece was Katie, who had made claims to this direct connection with Yogi Bhajan, being quoted as saying, "I never met him. I didn't really know him that well." And we see that with a lot of Kundalini Yoga teachers and people in 3HO. The same ideas that were horrifying and unspeakable 2 years ago have now become standard official reasons to keep going. When my article came out in 2012, the suggestion that Yogi Bhajan cobbled together his style of yoga, that the titles weren't really valid, that was slander. That was horrifying. And now those are the same reasons that are being used to justify continuing to teach Kundalini Yoga, to continue to offer teacher training. Well, it wasn't just about him. He was taking from different teachers. He's not really that important. We can move forward.
Right. Now, one of the other things that came up in the Business of Fashion article made me think of your remarks, Stacie, about meeting Guru Jagat. Did you say it was like 2008?
Yes.
Yeah. Sherman is describing being at the Rama Institute, and she says that while you're there, if you're in the middle of a meditation, if you open one eye, you might recognize a face or two, a creative director of a fashion label, or a beauty entrepreneur. And I just wanted to ask you about the demographics that are appealed to here. When she talks about the social influencers gathering, what do you think Griggs has created specifically in terms of style that's so compelling?
Well, I think there's a lot of things, right? So the typical Kundalini Yoga teacher, particularly the first gen variety or those emulating the first generation, they're in their white, very modest, the turban's correct. Mm-hmm. It's very prescribed. Katie shows up to class, her turban's a little funky. It might be orange. She's not wearing white. She's got big earrings. She's got glasses. She's funny. She doesn't play, the cultish string band. She doesn't even play Sonatum Car. She plays world music. She plays contemporary music. She has a sense of humor. So there's a real appeal that it's like, hey, we can still do the hippie yoga, but we can modernize it. So it's kind of contemporizing a tried and true thing, sticking to the manual, but, not being so rigid, because I think 3HO has a very rigid intensity. So it's kind of nice to have that bit of fun and flexibility. I will say, things, there's a couple things going on here. Let me focus one on the, when I took class with her in 2008, it was she was much different. There has been a transformation.